You walk into a room and within seconds, you already know who's uncomfortable, who's pretending to be fine, and that the two people in the corner had a fight before they got here. Nobody told you. You just felt it. And then you spent the rest of the evening carrying that information like it was your job to fix it. Or maybe you're the person who replays a conversation from 3 days ago because someone's tone was slightly off, and you've been quietly trying to decode what it meant ever since. Not because you're paranoid, because you actually heard something that other people missed entirely. People who love you have probably called you sensitive, overthinking, too intense. And you've probably wondered, more than once, if something in your wiring is just fundamentally wrong. But here's the thing, it's not weakness and it's not a flaw. It has a name. And the last sign we're going to get to is the one that costs you the most, because it's the most invisible. If you recognize yourself here, stay with me. And if you love someone who seems to feel everything before anyone else does, this matters for you too. What you're carrying is called hypervigilance. Not the clinical crisis version you see in textbooks, but the quieter, everyday kind, a nervous system that learned at some point that scanning for danger was the safest way to be alive. Psychologist Peter Levine, who spent decades studying how the body holds stress, describes it as a threat detection system stuck on high gain. Think of it like a smoke alarm that was installed during an actual fire. At the time, maximum sensitivity made sense. The problem is it never got recalibrated. Now it goes off when you're just making toast. This isn't a character flaw you developed. It's a survival mechanism that got very, very good at its job. Its job, and the signs of it are hiding in plain sight inside your daily life. Sign 1. You read rooms the way other people read words. You walk into your boss's office, and before she says a single thing, you've already clocked the slight tightness around her eyes, the way she didn't fully smile, the half-second pause before she said your name. Most people would call that a normal Tuesday. To you, it's a full diagnostic. By the time she starts talking, you've already run 3 possible scenarios and picked the one that feels most likely. Sometimes you're right. Sometimes you're catastrophically right. And the exhausting part is that you can't turn it off, even when you desperately want to just eat your lunch without reading the energy of everyone in the break room. This happens because a hypervigilant nervous system doesn't distinguish between useful social information and noise. It treats everything as potentially relevant. Neuroscientist Stephen Porges calls this neuroception the body's unconscious assessment of safety and threat happening below conscious thought. Your neuroception is running hotter than most. You're not imagining things. You're picking up real signals. The problem is your brain files them all under urgent. If that's already landing, keep that in mind, because sign 2 goes even deeper. Sign 2, you apologize before anyone is even upset. Someone goes quiet in a conversation and you immediately say sorry. You're not sure what you did. You just felt the shift and moved to contain it before it could become something worse. You might do this with a partner, a friend, a coworker. The sorry fires out fast, almost reflexive like a vending machine with one item stocked and a very sensitive button. You've probably been told you apologize too much. What nobody recognized was that you weren't being self-deprecating. You were managing risk in real time. This is the nervous system doing exactly what it was trained to do: detect a potential threat in the social environment and move to neutralize it before it escalates. The cost is that you end up owning discomfort that was never yours. Other people's bad days become your fault to fix. Other people's silences become your emergencies to solve. Here's something you can actually use right now. Next time you feel that reflex apology rise up, pause for exactly 2 seconds and ask, did I actually do something? Or did something just shift? That 2-second gap is enough to let your thinking brain catch up to your threat scanning brain. You don't have to suppress the awareness. You just need to stop letting it automatically sign your name to things. Sign 3. Your body knows before your brain does. You've had the experience of feeling dread before, you know why. A text comes in and your stomach drops before you've even read it. You're in a meeting and your shoulders climb toward your ears before anyone says anything difficult. Your body is already 3 steps ahead, running a threat calculation that your conscious mind hasn't caught up to yet. And then when the thing happens, the criticism, The bad news, the tense conversation part of you thinks, I knew it, because you did. Your body told you. This is somatic hypervigilance. The body stores the pattern of past threat and starts predicting it before the evidence is fully in. It's incredibly accurate sometimes and wildly misfiring other times, and the brutal part is that from the inside, both feel exactly the same. There is no physiological difference between the dread that's right and the dread that's wrong, which means you've probably spent years bracing for things that never came, and the bracing itself was exhausting. If that's 3 for 3, you know what I'm about to say. Sign 4 is the one that runs the deepest. Sign 4. You are fluent in what people don't say. The pause before someone answers. The smile that doesn't reach the eyes. The way a person says, I'm fine, with just a fraction too much emphasis on the fine. You hear all of it. You hear the thing underneath the thing. And often you carry that unspoken information for days, turning it over, trying to understand what it means and what, if anything, you're supposed to do with it. People around you sometimes find this unnerving. They say you're reading too much into things. But then later, sometimes much later, it turns out you were right. The loneliness of this is real. Because you can't explain how you know without sounding like you're claiming some kind of superpower, which isn't how it feels from the inside at all. From the inside, it feels like being handed a puzzle no one else can see and being expected to solve it quietly, alone, without making anyone uncomfortable by mentioning it exists. Now, here is the cost of leaving this running on autopilot, and it's worth naming directly. A nervous system in permanent scan mode doesn't get to rest. Not really. You might go on vacation and spend the first 2 days cataloging the mood of every person in your travel group. You might lie in bed next to someone you love and still feel vaguely on duty. Over time, this erodes things. It erodes your energy, because constant vigilance is metabolically expensive. It erodes your relationships, because when you're always managing the emotional weather of a room, you stop being fully present in it, and it erodes your sense of self. Because somewhere in there, underneath all the reading and scanning and preemptive managing, is a person who has their own feelings, their own needs, their own interior life that's been running on low priority for a very long time. Here's how you start taking the wheel back. Step 1. Name the scan when it's happening. Not to stop it, you probably can't. Not immediately, but to create a small distance from it. When you notice you're reading the room, say internally, I'm scanning right now. That's my system doing its thing. It sounds almost too simple, but naming a process pulls it from automatic into observed, and observed is where you have choices. Step 2. Give your nervous system something concrete to land on. Hypervigilance runs hot because it's working with abstract threat. When you feel the scan start, bring your attention to something physical and specific. The weight of your feet on the floor, the temperature of whatever's in your hand. This isn't distraction. It's giving your nervous system a real signal to process instead of the imagined ones. Psychologists call this grounding. Your body calls it relief. Step 3. And this one is for the people who love someone like this. Stop dismissing what they notice. When someone with a hypervigilant nervous system says the atmosphere feels off, or that something's wrong with a person you both just met, the instinct is to say, you're imagining it, but they probably aren't. A better response is, what are you picking up? Make it safe for them to say what they noticed without having to defend it. That one shift can make a hypervigilant person feel less like a malfunction and more like the perceptive, deeply tuned-in human they actually are. Here's the reframe that matters most. The same nervous system that makes you exhausted in a crowded party is the one that makes you the person people call when something is actually wrong, because you'll notice. You always notice. The sensitivity that gets pathologized in noisy, fast-moving environments is the exact same capacity that makes you an extraordinary friend, an unusually perceptive partner, a person who catches what everyone else missed until it was too late. The smoke alarm went off too many times in too many empty rooms, but it was built for fire. And sometimes there is fire, and you're the one who sees it first. The nervous system that never fully rests was trying to keep you safe. It did its job. Now the work is teaching it that you're allowed to put it down, even briefly, without the world falling apart while you do.